In the news today, or at least in the news on Facebook, Chief Justice Clarence Thomas of the Supreme Court is apparently arguing that maybe, just maybe, states should be allowed to institute state religions. His essential argument is based on the fact that while the Constitution dictates that the federal government can't institute some kind of national religion, there's nothing in it that particularly stipulates states can't do it. The truth is, this is probably correct, at least from a legal standpoint. At the time that the Constitution was being drafted, they were very, very reticent to put stipulations on things that the states could and couldn't do in certain respects, but very quick to as far as the federal government was concerned. The problem with this is that, well, it's just flat out a terrible idea, even and perhaps even especially for the people that might most want it. After all, if such a thing was to be done, it would probably go to the Christians. They are the majority in the United States and the majority in, I think, every state. There's all kinds of secondary religions that are the second most in different states, and there's some interesting charts on that. But Christianity is by far the majority. Something they might not think about is that what exactly would be stipulated if such a thing happened? Would it be Christianity in general being the state religion? Would it be a particular denomination? The moment you give that kind of power to any kind of government, there's no telling what you're going to get. And if you happen to be a denomination that falls outside what is stipulated, it could be very bad for you. And not to mention, you're creating the possibility of just about anything. You may be okay in the next 10 or 20 years, maybe even the next 50 years. But what about 100 years down the road? What about 200, 300? What about when eventually there's more atheists around than Christians? What kinds of things could happen then? Anytime you start trying to combine church and state in any way, it always leads to disaster. So just something you really need to think about when someone like Clarence Thomas says something like this. Yes, it may be true from a legal standpoint, but it's an extremely bad idea from a social standpoint, for whatever my opinion is worth. I'm the Urban Omnist. Thanks for listening, guys. And guys, please don't forget to support us as much as possible by clicking subscribe, liking us on Facebook and Twitter, and please, 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 please send me those questions right at this address. Thank you very much. Again, I'm the Urban Omnist.